So hypergrace is basically used to describe a new wave of teaching that emphasizes the grace of God to the exclusion of other vital teachings such as repentance, confession of sin, so on and so forth. Now, don't
Mm-hmm.
get me wrong. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that grace isn't biblical, so to speak. God is a God of grace and he is full of grace and truth. That's what the Bible tells us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've established earlier that grace is an attribute of God. By hyper grace, however, we mean that when a preacher tries to equate God to be equals to grace, so we'll hear things. So for hyper grace teachers, we'll often hear them saying things like God is grace and grace is Jesus and
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth. But basically ideas along those lines. But hey, we cannot simply focus solely on God's grace. We can't laser
Yes.
focus and zoom in all the way on
Yes.
just God's grace.
It's true.
Now, once again, yeah. So quoting from the same book by Tozer, I find that this book is really very good.
Mm.
So Tozer says here, I quote, if we make him a God of grace and nothing else, as gospel churches have over the past 50 years, we have a God who cannot see moral distinctions. This is why the church has been unable to see moral distinctions.
Okay.
Instead of a separated holy church, we have a church that's so geared into the world, you can't tell one from the other. It was said of a certain great English preacher that he preached grace in such a manner as to lower the moral standards of England.
Hmm.
It's entirely possible to preach grace in a church until we become as arrogant and brazen as can be, forgetting that grace is one of the attributes of God, but not all.
Wow.
While God is a God of grace, he is also a God of justice,
Mm.
holiness, and truth. Our God will always be true to his nature because he is a faithful God. End quote. So, yeah, I really like this quote. And to conclude this portion, hyper grace is really when one attempts to magnify God's grace such that it overshadows all other attributes of God. Of course, God's grace is infinite, but guess what? So are all his other attributes. Well, we do not know what we're doing when we try to play God's attributes against one another. That's really irreverent, and that's not something we as creatures should be doing to God in the first place. And it's extremely dangerous because as Tozer has said, one can preach grace in such a manner as to lower moral standards. Of
Mm.
course, no preacher would outwardly say that he wants to preach in such a way to lower people's moral standards, right? But could it be that the preacher is unknowingly doing so by his preaching? Yeah, that's a question that I would like to leave with the listeners. Yeah.